Hello and welcome to my review of the Legio Custodes Adrasite spears from Forge World. You can get the squad with the spears for £50 from Forge World, or you can get the spears separately for £15, which basically means they're £3 per spear. I'm calling them Adrasite spears, even though the entry on the website is Adrasite, but for them separately it's Adrasite. Things don't get much better in the Inferno book either. The Shield Captain, they call it an Adrasite spear. The Heteron Guard call it an Adrasite, and the Guardian Squad also call it an Adrasite. So it's an Adrasite for the Shield Captain and Forge World when you buy them in 5, but it's an Adrasite for everything else. So I'm just going to call them Adrasite. I think it is just a spelling error. But enough about me complaining about spelling. Let's have a look at the models themselves. So as I said before, £15 for the 5. They go together pretty well. It's your standard Custodian Guard squad. No real reason why you can't have these as Heteron Guard and just call them Heteron Guard. For 40k at the moment, there are no beta rules for them. So this is Horus Heresy only at the moment. When I say at the moment, I mean the 25th of March. I don't see Games Workshop allowing Adrasite weapons into the 41st millennium, to be fair. There's plenty of horrific weapons already in that era. So at the moment, Horus Heresy only, just because of the destructive capabilities. So this guy, I haven't used any parts from any of the other sets. These are all the parts in the normal Guardian squad set. It's a Custodian Guard squad that we all know and love. Very easy set to build. You don't get much posability in terms of the legs or the torso, but you do with the arms and the head, more so than the Wardens. That being said, the spears go on there pretty well. Used all the parts in the normal set. So this guy is just, you know, reaching out, probably not being overconfident, just as if he was issuing a challenge to a worthy opponent. So yeah, the detail, as I said in the unboxing, is absolutely fantastic. The lighting isn't with me today, unfortunately, guys. It's getting to that point where it's very, very bright in this room. But hopefully you can see all the detail there. In my opinion, definitely worth the £3 for these spears, £3 each. So yeah, you get 2 one-handed spears and 3 double-handed spears, the same as the Pyrothite spears as well. So that's that guy. You've got this guy running. Not the best pose. I'm not a huge fan of the Custodian Guards running. They look like their legs are quite short. But there you go. This guy just in a pose, just got his spear outstretched, not really doing much. Probably the worst pose out of all of them. Now I got this guy who's standing his ground. I like this pose, standing his ground, about to fire off something at a strange diagonal angle. But that's good because it's offset by his back foot there. Got this guy, another running guy, but this time this guy's charging with the spear, probably about to pierce something with it. So yeah, that's quite decent. I like that one. And then finally, I say the Shield Captain. You can have this this Adrasite spear on a Shield Captain for Horus Heresy, so that's cool. I didn't put a cloak on them. I didn't want to put a cloak on any of them, but there is a possibility to do that. You can have them in a squad of 3. It just so happens that the Guard squad you have 5, so there's no reason why you couldn't have 3 there, or even 4 with the spears, or have 3 and a Shield Captain, so, or even 4 or a Shield Captain. So however you want to play that, you can mix it up and change your squad size and things. But this guy, he's just got his spear on the ground, quite a common pose. I think I've got this a few times in my normal squads of Custodian Guard. So there you go. They're all the spears themselves. Lots of detail, as I said. Size comparison wise, well, here's the Forge World Shield Captain. The Adrasite spear is taller and longer, definitely more fearsome looking with this barrel, and I love the end of it as well. It's like whap, kind of laser of death kind of thing. Obviously the cutting edge length is you know, shorter than the Shield Captain, but still Height-wise, they're similar height. There's not much in it really at all with the standard ones and the shield captain. Comparing him to a Alaris Terminator, again, not much height. The Alaris is a little bit taller, a bit more stockier in that Alaris Terminator armour. Next to a normal Space Marine, obviously heads and shoulders above normal Space Marine, and then a Primaris. Always they give the Custodes a bit of a run for their money. They're almost the same height, if not they are. It's just the extra plume and stuff sets them apart and is bulk. So hopefully those size comparisons have helped. What I will do now is go through their rules in the Inferno book for Horus Heresy, because they do differ a fair bit from the typical Guardian Spears. As I mentioned at the beginning, you won't find these in the 40k Adeptus Custodes Codex, but you will find them in Book 7 Inferno, which came out last year in February. You've got a few options. As I said before, you can equip your shield captain with an Adrasite spear. You can have this squad as a 3-man or up to 10-man Heteron Guard squad, and you can have them all with the Adrasite spears, or you can have your normal Custodian Guard squad with the spears. So that's the trade-off with 40k and the Horus Heresy. With Horus Heresy, your Custodian Guard squad can take things like melter bombs, and they can teleport. And in Horus Heresy, they're so much more of an effective force than in the 40k. You know, taking out tanks with the melter bombs and teleporting into battle. They've also got the anti-tank Pyrothite spears, or they can take the Adrasite spears for the heavy armoured foes. They just lose out on the Castellan axes, which I think is a very good trade-off, to be fair. So the spears, you've got the Guardian spears, the Sentinel blades, the Pyrothite spears and the Adrasite spears. So these are the Adrasite spears, which technically have got the Adrastic Destructor on them. Another thing I wanted to point out is with Heteron Guard, you can also have the Solarite Power Gauntlets, the Power Talons and the Paragon blades. The Guardian spears have the Guardian bolters, the Pyrothite spears have the Melter beams, Adrasite spears have Adrastic Destructors, and the Paragon spears have Paragon bolters. So it is just a Guardian spear with an Adrastic Destructor, which means it's got the same disintegration beam that's found on the Adrastus bolt caliber, which is on the Sagittarium Guard. Someone asked me what a Sagittarium Guard was. I was surprised at that because they only came out a year ago. However, you know, if you're brand new to the hobby over the past couple of months, I completely understand. I did reply in the comments section. Other people have asked, Super, when are you going to release your Custodes army? So far, look, that's coming. I just really wanted to wait until Valdor. I can do it now, but I just really wanted to wait till Valdor had arrived and I'd sprayed him and everything like that. So obviously his videos are coming, but also I will be creating a Custodes army so far, and I'll go through each of the units in that. It'll be quite a big video. So as I said, it's got the Disintegration Beam that's found on the Adrastus bolt caliber that the Sagittarium Guard. They're like a heavy support choice of Custodes, which is a combination weapon. You can either use it as a bolt volley or a Disintegration Beam. But the Disintegration Beam, which is exactly the same as the Adrastic Destructor for the spear, is a range 12-inch weapon, strength 5, AP 2, assault 1, instant death, armor bane, and gets hot. That's the only sort of downside you get with this, is the gets hot rule. But of course you must understand they all have their refractor fields, which is a 5+ invulnerable. Even the Heteron Guards do, and the shield captain has his own halo. So the gets hot is a bit of a gamble, especially as it's got instant death. But I think it's a great gamble. One shot assault weapon. It's a close range though, so you're going to have to teleport these guys in or drop them out of an Orion dropship or Coronis or Land Raider, whatever. Oh yeah, totally forgot you can't use Land Raiders. So I think that's a great trade-off. It's not a shorter range as the Melter Beam. Yes, it's strength 5, so in the old 7th edition rules, you are wounding on a 3+, which is still pretty good. But its AP is 2, and this instant death and armor bane. Armor bane, not so much. I mean, you do roll 2d6 and add both of them together for armor bane, so you can have possible strength 17 on that one. But I just really like the fact that they have the same beam as the Sagittarium, but they have this power blade as well. which adds to their strength if they charge, and obviously their AP 2 if they charge. A little bit different, and they've got lightning blows and specialist weapons, so a little bit different of how it works in 40k. That is the way this weapon works, and as I said before, you can take it for the Shield Captain, the Heteron Guard, or the Custodian Guard Squad. That's why I'm not going to go through all the profile of the Custodian Guard Squad, because I recently did a re-review of that squad, and I covered the Horus Heresy rules as well. Comparing it to the Pyrothite Spears, which is something that I want to do, the Melter Beam is half that range, so it's only 6-inch range, which isn't very far at all. But you do get Strength 8, you do get AP 1, it is Assault 1, and it is Melter. So that's nice, but honestly, if you want to bust tanks and you have to be 6 inches away, you might as well just equip them with Adrasite Spears and then just take the 5 points each model for the Melter Bomb tax. And that would be my way. You know, if you're within 6 inches of a tank, you might as well just strap a bomb to it anyway. But the Pyrothite Spears do look pretty cool anyway, and I'll be bringing you their review soon. Anyway, what do you guys think of these Custodian Guard or Heteron Guard with the Adrasite Spears? I think they're awesome. I think they're definitely going to be something that your opponent will watch out for. Custodian Guard squads are pretty horrific as they are anyway, just standard ones, and the Terminators even more so. But these ones could really mess up your opponent's day, especially with all that instant death weaponry. If you can't tell already, I really like their disintegration beams on the tips of their spears, and I think you could quite easily model an army that has mainly Adrasite destructor kind of weapons. You could have a couple of squads of these maybe, you could have a squad or two of Sagittarum, you could have some Agamatus jet bikes with them on, and you could have your Shield Captain with one on, so you could have an almost Adrasite weaponry, Adrasite destructor kind of army that is mainly consists of instant death weapons. Very cheesy and very expensive points wise, but still. Points wise, I must reiterate that the Adrasite spears are cheaper than the Melter ones, the Pyrothite spears. Anyway, what do you guys think of the Adrasite spears, both rules wise and you know, modelling wise? Please do put it in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.